So, I have some really good news. My vaccine religious exemption letter got approved. Now, this isn't just good news for me, I think it's good news for everyone. Because, for starters, this exemption letter got approved by a New York City university system, which means it got approved by a board of what I believe are religious experts who should know a thing or two about religion, and by a board who is most definitely biased in favor of vaccines and against approving such religious exemption letters. So, this religious exemption letter got approved by a pretty legitimate source. Now, the next important thing, the next reason why this is really important news for everyone, is my religious exemption is a blanket vaccine exemption that exempts you from any and all vaccines at any and all times. Other religious exemptions that I've seen only seem to focus on like the ingredients of vaccines or like how the vaccines were tested. Like they focus on aborted fetal tissues. And like other vaccine exemptions that I've seen are just they're bogus. They're not real religious exemptions. Like I've seen this one person, they even sell like their vaccine religious exemptions. Like they're all like, "Oh yeah, we'll sit down and we'll have like a meeting with you." Like they'll consult you, and it's just obviously a money scheme. And then the videos that they put out there, the free videos that they put out there, they're just like citing the laws that protect your religious beliefs. But if you write a letter just citing those laws and without actually putting what your religious beliefs are, without putting the religious belief that those laws are supposed to be protecting, then you're just going to be looked at like an idiot. They're going to be like, yeah, okay, good, you cited the laws, but what's your religious beliefs? And then the person can't formulate an actual coherent religious belief or a coherent religious argument against the vaccines. And this brings me to my next point, which is that this religious exemption argument that I make is a very simple religious argument that's very simple and easy to understand that almost anybody can use. Now, I say almost anybody because people who have like tattoos or people who have modified their body in certain ways, if they use this argument, like they can use this argument, but it's not going to seem as authentic. Like I can create an argument for them that will still appear authentic, but then they wouldn't be able to modify their body again after that, because then if they do, they would just seem like a bunch of liars or hypocrites. So the point is, though, is that this religious argument is authentic. It's been approved, and trust me, even if they didn't approve it, I believe it's super authentic. I think it's a sound religious argument that is using not only the Bible, it's using history, it's using what a lot of Christian theologians have argued for centuries. It is a sound religious argument that I'm making. So not only is it an authentic argument, it can also be universally applied, meaning it can be applied to any and all vaccines under any and all circumstances. It's also, I believe, can be adopted universally. Like I think that most people can use this religious argument. And I believe, with all of that said, that this can actually hold up in a court of law. Like, I think that people who are against vaccines, like people who are against having their newborn babies getting dozens of vaccines, I believe that they can use this argument in a court of law without having to dramatically change their overall living. And I believe, like, arguments can even be made for some vaccines. I believe that you can use the same religious argument, the same religious beliefs, to argue that you can choose using your own free will which vaccines to take and which vaccines not to take. Like, you can make religious arguments for the difference between a rabies vaccine after you've been bitten by an animal that has rabies versus a more preventative vaccine like the flu vaccine or something like that. Like, religious arguments can be made between them, like distinctions can be made. But more importantly, even if one were to argue that there are no distinctions, and that all vaccines fall under one umbrella, Christianity has this really important concept of redemption and free will. But really, for the letter, that's mostly irrelevant. Like, that might be, like, those concepts might be relevant to you if you're going to have an interview, but if you're writing a letter, those concepts aren't too necessary. The only thing that's necessary is that you can create an authentic religious argument against any and all vaccines. So, I'm just going to wrap this video up here. Of course, like everything that I talk about, there is a bunch more that I can go on talking about when it comes to this topic, but I have other things to do, and I really want to get working on the next video, which is going to be kind of a step away from this topic. It's going to be a step away from the present day situation and a look back at some things that got us into this present day situation. So, yeah, I really want to work on that video. I just wanted to make this video just to quickly give this update that my religious exemption was approved, and it was approved by a pretty legitimate source. So, I'll see you all in the comment section, and I shall see you all in the next video.